Tigers by 26 points. Claremont claim their 12th premiership.
The Tigers went back-to-back in 2012, and as Claremont stormed to its 12th premiership, 8 other clubs looked on enviously. Now, after an off-season of planning the Tigers' downfall, footy's new year is finally here. And what a way to begin as we head to the northern suburbs for one of the most fiercely contested games in the nation. WestPerth and EPerth derbies are always tough encounters.
Oh, taken very high.
This will be no different. The Falcons are still smarting from missing the finals last season,
What's the point looking backwards?
while the Royals have a new man in charge in Premiership coach Brian Dawson and a new alignment with the AFL's West Coast Eagles.
We have a fair bit of contact.
It's time for the talking to stop, time to put the training to the test, time to welcome back local footy. Live from Joondalup, this is the WAFL and this is the Perth Derby.
I think so, Rod, but I think a lot of our improvement's going to come from within. We've got some really good kids in our system, and guys like Manning, Black, Nelson, who have been around for a while, have improved again. We've topped up a little bit. Rowan Kerr makes his debut today, and Trent Manzoni from Queensland. So, look, it's an exciting time. We won't know the effect of losing the retirees until well into the season. All I know is we've had a solid pre-season. The players have been enthusiastic, and hopefully we'll take that form into today's game.
EPerth, an old foe, got some of the best big men in the game. How are you going to stop them today?
Oh, look, collectively we need to be good with our defensive mechanisms. Obviously, the players playing on a Josh Smith or on a Paul Johnson will need to be at their best. But, if we're pressuring the ball carrier, if we can force them wide, if we can get third man up to help occasionally, that's all going to help. So, look, it's a big ask for anyone to play on Josh Smith in particular. He's probably the most influential forward in the competition when he's up and about. So, look, collectively we need...
We're looking at, first of all, the WestPerth team list, and we'll go to you, Clint, for comment on that. But I mentioned to you just when I threw to you with the first question, to me they always seem to have a very competitive team on paper.
They certainly do, and you'd expect that once again. We know that certainly as far as the WestPerth fans are concerned, same with a lot of the EPerth fans, this is one of the games that you have to win to make the supporters happy for the season. A couple of new players as well to look out for. Rowan Kerr, been very impressive with Carlton, got recommended to the club by Darren Harris. Didn't actually manage to play an AFL game with Carlton, but he liked what he saw, so he's come to WestPerth. And Trent Manzoni in there as well, actually played on Jason Salicic in the state game when WA played Queensland just 2 years ago. Great story. Decided to drive across the country in the ute with his father. That's how he decided to get across from Queensland.
And the club he came from was quite a famous club, I think, up there. I googled it yesterday and can't even remember, Clint. But let's flip the page. We'll come back to that. Judgy, if we look at EPerth's lineup, and again they have retained quite a few, but got some very important players into their lineup. Morton, of course, comes in, and he's going to be an extremely talented player. Cadwallader was before he received that 2-year ban.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how he goes, Cadwallader, because he was showing a lot before he had that ban, and he was in the state squad. I mean, I think he was selected that particular year, and he was part of the initial squad, so he was playing well enough in those days to warrant that. I mean, Johnson, as I said, in the ruck's fantastic. Smith at centre forward's good. Moss, had an opportunity at Hawthorn on an AFL list, so he's a very good player. Seal's a very clever player forward. Charters at centre half back. They've got a good mix of players here. With some of them have had a bit of AFL experience, and a number of players like Clutterbuck who have been looked at by AFL clubs.
Rod Willard's got the WestPerth bench. Rod.
Yeah, thanks, Clint. We've got Anthony Salikas, Matthew Gordon, and new player Trent Manzone, Mark Crisp and Jordan Jones on the bench for WestPerth.
So WestPerth out of bother. Van Berlo kicking up towards centre wing. Bit of pace being shown there by Johnson, making his debut this afternoon, the young man. Look at the confidence of him. 2 bounces, nearly 3. Swings the hand pass inboard there to Fowler. Back to Johnson. Well, what a stellar first passage of play, making your first game Kendall ball signalling the goal, Judgy. But that is a passage of play the young man making his debut this afternoon will long remember, and so will I.
Well, yeah, look, he just showed terrific pace. He backed himself in initially and then went for the run. I thought he was going to go all the way here. Unselfishly gave the ball away to a teammate. made sure it was just not such a great hand pass, so he got it back again and kicked the goal into the goal
He
square.
really did think it through.
Yeah, but so a great effort there by Matthew Johnson, and no, well, he hasn't turned 19 yet, 18 years of age, so he'd be very excited by all of that. Yeah, well, they have been good.
So the ball spun back into play. Kiernan at the bat. Both hands to it. It came down to Moss. Royals with the opportunity. Mal Dennis kicks around the body. That's a terrific kick. They haven't had too many opportunities, East Perth, but they made that count.
Fun. Isn't doing a lot. It's difficult to see what the breeze is doing, but West Perth have missed a few pretty easy ones down at that end of the ground as the ball comes off hand. Seal read it nicely. Just get your report on the wind in a moment. Good strong mark by Smith. He led well to the right foot of Seal, and that's a great, beautifully weighted kick by Smith, but bad defensive work by West Perth. Moss dropped off his opponent, ran into a near-vacant goal square. Well, the goal square was vacant. It was nearby to his proximity when he took the footy, and that one all too easy. So East Perth, after coming from behind, have now taken the lead.
Often.
Bounce always favoured the Falcons. Kiernan won it down, and West Perth will emerge with it. Jones gets the kick away towards centre half forward. Bounces inside the forward 50. Foul knocked it down. Found a teammate who was able to just go inside the forward 50 again. Here's an opportunity for West Perth. Surely they will this time. Johnson gets a second. For a moment, there was some nerves, but the hand pass hit its target. The Falcons are back in front. West Perth 2-3-15. East Perth 2 straight 12.
Yeah, well, young Johnson again on the end of it. I reckon he's only had 4 kicks, kicked 2-2. Is that correct, Lemmy? Wouldn't
Yes.
have any more than 4, I reckon. But so what a great start.
He likes kicking them from the goal square.
He does, but what a great start for him in his Western Australian Football League debut. 2 goals, 2, and quite easily could have had 4.
East Fremantle 3 goals straight. Swan Districts 1-2. 17.5 minutes into the first quarter at East Fremantle Oval, and Claremont and South Fremantle 1-3 apiece. And they're also 21.5 minutes into the first quarter. We're a little bit behind time here at Arena Joondalup. Coonan wins the tap, looking for Salisic. Salisic grabbed it, but he in turn was tackled. And a push in the back, said the umpire. So Salisic happy to get the relief of that free kick. Wheels around onto the right. Coonan has run away from the contest beautifully and made himself available. Short pass, well delivered as Fowler came out, got a knock on that troublesome right knee, and he immediately grabbed for it, lays it off to Bartholomew. He goes with a towering kick toward the goal square. A 2-on-2, nobody touched it. Bartholomew's kick has cleared the pack. A shake of the head there by Tyson Rudd, but Ray Bartholomew, well, it may have been fortuitous, Judgy, that Fowler got that knock on the knee because he decided to lay it off to the run of Bartholomew, who just had his momentum up and got the extra yardage.
Well, it was, and look, quite honestly, it should not have been a goal because that ball's landed about halfway, well, 3/4 of the way up the goal square and bounced through. So poorly judged by everyone, but fortuitous for West Perth, and Bartholomew's put a goal on the board.
Maybe the breeze a bit fluky there, Clint.
Well, I actually thought the breeze seemed to be stronger to the other end, to East Perth's end, but not sure yet. That certainly didn't hold up at all. Did that cover the distance okay? All but it did roll through.
West Perth kicking the last 2 goals. Once again, battle on in the middle. Comes down for the Falcons, and they'll go away through Nelson to the outer side. Gordon scoops it up, hand passes inboard. He's got Millington. Umpire spotted the free kick for holding the ball. Now, East Perth wanted the advantage. They've been paid at 2. Wolf gets a hand pass out to Clutterbuck. They'll move through Wilson. Wilson from the outer wing. Spots up Swan. He was on his own, and Swan will have a shot at goal. Will he? Won't? Will he cross the face? Won't matter too much. That's a good mark. Strong grab to Johnson. It'll be a tight angle. Back against him, though. Wanted to have a go a little bit early, Johnson. He'll be sent back on his mark.
Well, I think he's made his intentions pretty clear, so the West Perth fellas should be onto this.
Time back on. Just wait for play on.
Johnson snaps, and he goes. And East Perth respond. The Falcons still with the upper hand at the moment. It's 3-3-21 to East Perth 3 straight 18.
Well, that's always going to be a danger. Johnson down there, virtually 1 out. And he's a powerful man, and he's a real focal point when he does play, when he gets down there forward. Strong mark by him, good conversion. just proving why he's one of the best big players in the competition.
That kick from Blaine Wilson, Judge, he did have plenty of carry, so you can kick quite long to either end of the ground, but a good centering kick there too by Michael Swan as well. And Wilson, the benefit of having a big man that can go drop down close to goal, take a mark and kick a goal, which makes him such a valuable player. Rodder in ruck for West Perth, won the tap, but with the run of the footy there was Wolf, and he was pushed in the back.
Straight to him.
So the East Perth skipper, who won the toss and elected to kick to the left of screen, gets some distance with his own kick. Oh, not enough body contact there by Rasmussen, and just making himself too elusive was Dean Cadwallader. I think maybe the first time, or maybe the second time he's touched it, but clean with his hands. Just his first posse. Yep. Well, he's directly in front, and this will be a great confidence booster for him.
Well, it was a good mark, and he'd be very happy to be back playing senior football at this level after a
2-year ban.
Yep.
So the club has shown terrific loyalty, terrific confidence in him, and he has steered that through. It didn't look terrific off the boot, but he kept it on line, and look at his teammates come to him. That's a great return to league football by Dean Cadwallader. East Perth, true with their kicking, 4 goals straight, 24. West Perth, 3-3-21.
Down, managing just to get the hand pass away. It was pretty from Rodder, still there to be won, and a high decision going the Royals' way. So East Perth will have the ball on the outer side and a chance to try and go inside their attacking 50 again.
It's been good, Johnson.
Just a little bit lazy there by Rodder. I just don't think he needed to make that high contact because Johnson was going to ground, but that's a beautiful kick, and it really shows up a couple of the recent disposals by West Perth that have been lacklustre and haven't found their targets. Johnson, a lot of conviction with a kick, Judgy, low and hard, and really accommodated the hard lead of Michael Swan.
Oh, it was perfectly weighted because it was out in front of him and it gave the defender no chance at all.
Well, Michael Swan's marked his spot. He's going to have a fair dinkum go at this one. Puts the head down, leans into it, gets pretty good distance. He was confident all the way, and that's cleared the pack on the goal line. What a beautifully weighted kick. Talk about Johnson's beautifully weighted pass. Michael Swan showing all of his experience and skill, and that's a terrific start by the Royals in the opening couple of minutes of this second. Yeah, there.
Well, actually, I think the suspicion is Fowler has gone to stand on the mark.
Yeah, that's right.
So against Fowler, that decision, and it's resulted with a big mark to Johnson inside the Royals attacking 50, and the big fella can go back and stretch their lead, East Perth.
Yeah, well,
he's just
too powerful when he gets in that situation. Good mark. And he should convert this.
So it's on the 45-degree angle. Paul Johnson. He's a big man, and that is a big kick and an important goal for East Perth. Jones, long, inside the attacking 50. What's Rodder? And he drags in the mark.
He's been pretty good, Rodder. Taken a few good marks over his head.
No, he's been okay.
The Falcons need something desperately at the moment. Rodder, stuttering start, swings out to the right. Will the kick come around? It will. Boy, oh boy, West Perth needed that. Ashley got away from trouble. He wants Smith, and Smith marks. Thought about playing on for a moment. Now he really will chip it up in the air. Take it, Cadwallader. Cadwallader can go through and bang a second onto the scoreboard for East Perth.
Stay that metre apart.
Got him down.
Throwing up. Third man up was Morton. Got the fist of the footy. Bounced well for strike, and he got away from the tackle strike. Puts West Perth back inside their forward 50. That's what they needed. An opportunity to go back and have a shot at goal, and it's Matthew Johnson. He'll be looking for his third.
Gee, that was a class kick by strike.
Well, stood up in the tackle. Just get into the corridor, kick it up in the air. Forwards are playing in front. That's an ideal kick.
Matthew Johnson, he's kicked two of their 4 goals so far. Falcons desperate for another one, and Johnson is able to provide it. Teammates are pretty happy with that. West Perth, they narrow the gap again on the Royals. It's East Perth 7-1 to West Perth 5-5.
Watch the ball.
Umpire throws the ball up. Coonan over the top, won it down to Bartholomew. Just threw it onto the left boot. Gordon from behind punched it well, but lurking at the front of the contest there was Salikas. Nearly got mixed up with his own man. Now he gets on with it, kicks it to open territory, showing some pace down there is Crisp. Gathers the footy on the run. He elects to dribble it. He hasn't seen a lot of it, Mark Crisp, but that was very well done.
Shaquille McKenzie. He's lightning quick, shows plenty of skills. Can he make the distance with this? From right on 50, it's out to the left. Won't have the distance. Oh, big fly from Coonan. Play on's the call. The Royals said thanks very much, and they've kicked the goal.
Jones, at the front of the contest, nearly marked by Swan. Now,
You'd hope they wouldn't.
it's going to be for a deliberate trip, I think. Standing ovation for the umpires. You don't see that very often. Now, have I got that right? Was it a deliberate trip?
Yeah, it was right in front of us here. Deliberate trip, stuck his right foot out.
And see, Swan very nearly took the mark. Trying to emerge there was Manzoni, and out went the left foot. So, well, Michael Swan should know better than that. His name's got into the book. So Rodder, good pass, fine strike. And he's like the quarterback who just uses the ball so well to Brown. He was held just before he got possession of the footy. Umpire right on the scene. The jumper was outstretched. So Brown played 23 games with Carlton. And apart from some errors with his ball usage, has been pretty good today. That again wasn't a convincing kick. Gordon made light of it, but he had to kick off one step. Gee, there was some error in judgment down there by the East Perth defenders. And in the end, there was only one man left standing to take the mark, and that's Josh Mellington.
Well, he can play Mellington. They think a bit of him down at Fremantle.
Well, he has played. What did he play? Clinton, you'd have those stats.
Mellington,
Your
5 games for Freo.
5 for Freo, so he's certainly in the mix. But permission granted for him to play for West Perth this afternoon. He needs to contribute with this goal at the 26-minute mark, which it will be as the ball floats over the top of the umpire's hat. So that's good work by West Perth. Well played. Their supporters going to be happy as they go into half-time. They're still trailing by 2 points, but 12 scoring shots to 9, Judgy. This is a really good arm wrestle, this match.
Well, it is. It's toing and froing, Lammy, and just when the side appears to be getting some ascendancy, the opposition come back and kick a goal. So, yep, good effort there, and this would be a fitting way to go in at half-time with not much time to go, with there just being 2 points of difference.
I say this quietly because we're surrounded by West Perth supporters, but if they lose by less than a goal, the Falcons, they will all be pointing at that decision not to award the mark to Coonan.
Oh, it's a poor decision.
Matthews, there is Coonan, had his pocket picked by Seal. Both rucks again have a touch, putting his head over the footy but unable to take it was Van Berlo, but he's got the free kick for being taken high. So Van Berlo spears the pass towards centre half forward. Salikas attacked the foot, he didn't get near it. Clutterbuck did well. Off the ground, hand passed it to the big man in Johnson. Thumps it to the outer wing, flying at the back. Mark Pade. Rightly so. Dan Hunt, who has been very impressive until you give him a rap and he turns it straight over to Seal. Seal for East Perth, heads inboard. Sliding, mark taken to Clutterbuck. Just lurking by was White. Right in the middle of the ground, spots up a teammate at half forward. Sweet. Sweet, just chips the ball towards the top of the arc. Payne marks. East Perth building to something. Payne will wheel around. We go long. He will. West Perth have got the numbers. Waiting underneath it was Brown, who was taken out of it. They want the advantage, the Falcons, and they'll rebound quickly towards the commentary wing. That's a good grab.
Yeah, great kick too by Jordan Jones, who cleared the area, and Ryder didn't let him down. Into the middle, Nelson. They need to use it quickly. They can get the lead here. Gordon gives it to Nelson. Charges through the middle. Gets the right boot into it. They need a grab here. Johnson, one of the stars of the match so far. Mel Dennis has been moved on to him. Tracks the ball to the boundary line. Slips over. Johnson recovers quickest, sells that dummy and kicks a magnificent goal. 4 goals to the young man, and words really can do justice to the performance of Matthew Johnson in the first quarter. Didn't get the best of bounces. Mel Dennis looked to have saved the day, Judgy. A little bit of a push, a little bit of a shove, and then a stumble by Mel Dennis, and that spelt disaster.
Well, he just slipped, but you couldn't help but admire Johnson's perseverance there, and he's kicked 4 goals 2 on debut. He's been terrific. 4 goals 2 from 7 kicks.
For the first time in 73 years, the Claremont Football Club has gone back-to-back.
It's been a telling off-season in WA football. While Claremont celebrated back-to-back flags, the rest of the football community raged in debate about the issue of AFL alignment. EPerth has again become a feeder team for West Coast, while Peel Thunder's list will be bolstered by Fremantle players. The full impact of the partnership model won't be felt until next season, but it's clear right now that the WA football landscape is about to change.
The spring in his step caps off a remarkable 3-year coaching reign.
Famous at Swan Districts, Premiership coach Brian Dawson returns to the WAFL, this time in royal blue, selected to guide EPerth through a season of transition as their alignment with West Coast begins.
How much will you play like West Coast Eagles?
Oh, look, we'll certainly take some of their style and elements on board. There's no doubt about that. But there's no direction that we must play exactly the way they would like us to play. We certainly still have, good licence over that. But it would be silly not to incorporate some of what they do. So we'll take the bits that we think we can use best, and we'll go with that.
From my point of view, I wouldn't say a major change, but I agree with Dawes. It'd be silly not to pull some resources down from what we can get a hold of and implement whatever works to our strengths.
Brendan Lee has returned from a year with Essendon and will co-captain the Royals alongside Craig Wolfe.
It spills for Lee. Poor effort by Riggio, and EPerth have got another goal.
WAFL journeyman Cam Shepherd takes over the reins at Peel Thunder, and he says his club's alignment with Fremantle has already had an impact.
We played 8 aligned players on the weekend, and getting that integration right's something that we're working hard with. For this year, we did lose a lot of players that were probably fringe league players and reserves players because of the perceived opportunities with the alignment, and we don't walk away from that. But our player group at the moment is really strong, and they've got a strong bond. This is the Peel player group. We've got a strong bond, and the side will be selected in consultation with Fremantle, but on merit.
On top of their partnership with Fremantle, the Thunder recruiting staff have been working overtime.
On the lead, a good mark has been taken down there too.
Paul Bauer, Jaron Jackie, James Hawksley, Cruz Garlett and Marlon Motlop will all bring with them some AFL experience to a club that's desperate for its maiden finals campaign. Claremont's Andrew Brown has what 8 other WAFL captains are chasing. The Tigers have to defend last season's flag without 2 of their shining lights. Sandover medalist Kane Mitchell is now at Port Adelaide.
Kane Mitchell kicks the goal.
While Tom Lee is at St Kilda. Coach Mark Webb was quizzed on how their departures would impact the team.
Where we're at as a group is the fact that we've lost some real quality players. We've lost 3 of our leaders and 2 of our top 3 best and fairest players, obviously going off to the AFL, which is great for them. But we've won 3 reserve premierships, and that's been a telling fact, and it's been a great achievement by Claremont. And it's time that these guys who have played consistent reserves football start to play consistent senior footy. So that's been our focus on transitioning that group up. So we've probably lost a fair bit of depth that we had last year, and we potentially had probably 25 to 30 who could realistically play senior footy. I don't know if we'll have that same amount this year, but our best 22 should well and truly still be up there.
Brown was the heartbreak story of grand final week last year. A hamstring injury forced the skipper to watch on from the sidelines.
In that respect, us winning the flag, I was super proud last year, and I thought, you know, I contributed well during the year to help us get there. You know, you'd always prefer to be out on the ground than watching from the sidelines, but as I said to you the other night, if you had the choice of playing in a losing grand final or watching a winning grand final, you'd take the latter.
At East Fremantle, Leif Teakle and Luke Weller have both hung up the boots, while Kobe Stevens is now at the Western Bulldogs.
Well done by Kobe Stevens. That's the sort of thing that can lift a team.
From the grand final team, there's only 3 that are unavailable. Or definitely can't play for us, so that's been one of the good things. We've been able to maintain some stability, so the boys who played in the grand final team get the opportunity again, but usually there'll be some changes from the team because we've got to try and improve, but no, we have had a stable group now for a couple of years.
Malaxis has lured back Brett Peake from St Kilda as last year's runners-up look to go one better.
It's really hard to make grand finals. And last year we had to do it the hard way through first semi and prelim, so to get there took a lot of work, so to think that it's just going to happen again is obviously foolhardy. So I've been trying to impress upon the players and through the club that we'll start, I know it's a cliche but it's true, we all start on 0 points and you've got to earn the right to get there.
Swan Districts finished second behind Claremont only by percentage last season, and coach Greg Harding is excited by some of their new inclusions.
Castley, Pratt, Miles and Brett Robertson as well, who's played limited footy over the last 3 years. So that's going to be the big maybe for us, along with the loss of Ash Hansen.
After 78 AFL games and 98 for Swans, the big red machine Ash Hansen has called it quits. So too the club's premiership captain Josh Roberts, who's replaced this season by champion defender Talon Ames.
Long and Ames with those long arms reaches over the top and fisted it through.
Dale Garlett's off-season has been widely publicised. The talented 19-year-old was overlooked in the AFL draft in November, then turned up out of shape to Swans pre-season training. Harding says while Garlett is a proven match winner, he won't be picking him until round 3 at the earliest.
When he's on song, Brad, he's good to watch. Oh, he's a super talent.
Sometimes kids mature at different rates, and when Dale Garlett mentally gets it right, he'll play WAFL footy at a high level and he'll play AFL footy in time, and he's potentially a 200-game AFL player, there's no doubt. So he's been back at our club since probably early February. I'm not going to lie, he's had a truncated pre-season, but the first day he stepped in February, he was the best on track by a country mile.
Chris kicks inside 50, and all couldn't pick up.
For Bill Monaghan and WestPerth, 2013 is all about reaching internal expectations.
Everyone had us about the mark last year, and we fell well below that expectations, and they were our expectations too. We've lost a lot of experience this year, but the great thing about that is that we've got a new bunch of guys who are pushing up, and the training and the commitment from those guys have been fantastic. So whilst Lacroix and Burns, Flay are gone, there's going to be a lot of players coming from underneath who will replace them and be great players for our football club for a long time to come.
You know, probably the senior guys performed below expectation last year and sort of took the onus to take that on board for this year, but you know, the likes of sort of Nelson and Black and those young guys, they're having a pivotal role in the development of the younger guys around their own age, so the impact that they're having is huge on the group.
At Souths, the Bulldogs are desperate for a return to finals football, and as far as second-year coach Paul Hazelby is concerned, 2013 is a fresh start.
I think I came into the job last year after John Dimmer had planned for the pre-season. He was already 2 weeks into that pre-season, so I didn't have a chance to plan the way I would have liked to. And I've got the chance this year, I've done that. We've implemented a fair bit of change, bringing in our first full-time strength and conditioning coach, and he's run a terrific program, so we look forward to seeing the benefits of that this year.
They may be a stronger and fitter bunch, but the Bulldogs will line up without a host of their usual suspects. Hayden North, Ryan Murphy, Josh Head and Toby McGrath have all decided to hang up the boots. Almost 700 games experience gone. But the coach is focused on the new names coming through.
And Toby McGrath makes no mistake.
We had a pretty good finish to the year. Guys like Mitch Banner, Adam Carter, Warwick Andrioli and also Alistair Gillespie coming into the squad gives us a bit more depth to work with, coupled with a big focus on our fitness campaign. We think we'll be around the mark this year.
Subiaco's recruiters have been busy poaching former AFL players Jared Kayla-Thompson and Andrew McDougall, both from Perth.
Just eases into the kick, didn't try and kick it too hard, puts it straight through the middle.
On top of that, the club has welcomed back a favourite, Triple Premiership player Jared Schofield. He'll coach his old club and a few of his former teammates.
Obviously, I was lucky enough to play with Sco sort of 3 years ago. He's someone that's always been sort of surrounded by or involved with success, whether it was West Coast, then Port Adelaide, Subiaco, Claremont. So he was a person that knew success, and we needed some pretty significant change after the end of last year. I reckon we'd come back a fair way, so we needed a fair bit of change, and Sco's certainly done that, ticked all the boxes.
We've been training pretty hard, but obviously, working on just our conditioning side of things and our strength. We've just tried to raise the bar, and to be an elite WAFL side, you need to have elite standards that you need to meet, and we've just tried to implement them.
Perth Demons fans can expect a new-look team this season. Starved of success since 1977, the club has no problem attracting star recruits, but is struggling to hold on to them. Kayla-Thompson, McDougall and Leon Davis, just a few Demons who have opted out of Lathlane.
We've had a major overhaul this year. We've got new players that want to be a part of success. So, from day one we've tried to implement a culture of a winning culture. So, whether it's an intra-club game or whatever, we want to win. So, we've got values there, and we want players there to live up to those.
We've had a complete change of our playing list, 29 new players we have at our club, and we've had a major, I suppose you'd say, clean out. We've lost some talented players along the way, but we've also gained some very impressive new recruits.
Former Bomber Kyle Reimers has signed on, and Hawthorn Premiership player Chance Bateman returns to the club from which he was drafted back in 1999.
Yeah, it's always great to see players come back to your club like a Chance Bateman. We had Leon Davis last year, but Chance has had a great impact on our footy club, and certainly looking like being a leader over the next couple of years at our footy club. So really excited to have him back. Kyle Reimers is obviously a new recruit to our club, and still only 24 years of age, and he's got talent to burn, and we're looking forward to him having a strong season for us.
The Demons also farewelled one of the club's greats in Ross Young. 3 times the club's best and fairest, plus a Sandover medal. His role as Perth's captain will be hard to fill.
There's a great solo effort by Young.
Yeah, it's a major loss for us, but I'm excited by the challenge, as we've mentioned. Young group, willing to learn. So if I can develop some of these younger players with some of the qualities that I've learned from Sydney, I'm excited by the challenge.
It's a season of change in the WAFL. What impact will the AFL alignment have on East Perth, Peel and the rest of the competition? Will Perth fans finally taste some long-awaited success? How will the 3 new coaches fare? And can anyone stop Claremont's era of dominance?
Cale Morton had the kick in. No one could take the mark. West Perth will get another opportunity through Bartholomew. He'll kick from 50 out. He'll make this one count. A second to rampaging Ray Bartholomew. West Perth with the opening goal of the second half. The Falcons are 9-8-62. East Perth 8-1-49.
Johnson and Coonan again share it. Hurried kick out of the pack there by Black. I think it might have been. Here's White. He gathers it and gives it to Mel Dennis. Good-looking kick over the centre circles. Gives Brooks the run of the footy, although it bounced a bit far for him. Lane Rasmussen came into the action. He won the footy and gave it to Johnson. He's exciting the crowd. Goes with a short pass. Too short, now it's paid. But Van Berlo gives it off to Johnson. He unloads with a towering left foot kick into the pocket. And Rudd, just over the top of his opponent there in Mellington, has put a fist into it. And I'm sure that Bill Monaghan would be very happy with what he's seeing, because, Judgy, West Perth in the opening 10 minutes have really grasped the initiative of this game.
Well, they have, Lemmy. They're not putting the scoreboard pressure on. We know how important that is.
And that can really tell late in a physical game. This is being charters. Looked as though he got a bit high. Rudd from his knees. Gets a hand pass out, but it only went as far as Rodder to Mellington. He's a natural left footer, and he's pretty skillful. I think he's overcooked it. No, he hasn't. He's kicked it. Well, a bit of drama thrown into the action there by the goal umpire, but the second there to Josh Mellington, showing his skills. The margin has gone from 4 points at half-time to now 20 points. It's a very important break, Judgy, when you consider that fitness is going to become a big issue the longer of this game. Scoreboard. Derricks and Black, he was swung around 1.5 times, got the hand pass away. Gordon, good pressure. Lee, though, with a hand pass to Mel Dennis. Off the left boot, blind kick, went straight to Jordan Jones. Into the middle of the ground, here's Salisic. Pumps a hand pass forward of the play. Here's Kerr now, the new player from Carlton Footy Club. From the 50, drops it into the space. Reading it, Salikas, across his body. Bread and butter stuff for Anthony Salikas. And the Wynnum Dempsey stand is alive. The Falcon supporters really sensing something here, because judging the first 17 minutes of this third quarter, West Perth have really tightened the screws.
Well, they have. They've had 7 scoring shots to, well, and only 1 to East Perth was out in the full. So they've had 7 scoring shots for 3 goals, 4. Could easily have had another couple of goals there. It's almost game out of East Perth's reach, you think. But they're just putting in enormous pressure on East Perth now. They've opened themselves up a nice little break here. The key thing from their point of view is to make sure they play out this quarter. They don't just sit back and think the job's done, because East Perth will come back at them if they do. And I wouldn't write East Perth off yet. No. I think West Perth are looking very, very good.
Royals have not scored in this quarter. They've got to do something, and they've got to do it quickly.
I don't know, no one's going to be talking to Matt Seal after the game, Pete, because he's the only one who's kicked a behind for East Perth today.
And a controversial goal as well. Ball thrown up. One down by Derricks. Out after it, Lee. Oh, sliding in.
Nathan Lee! Contact for Nathan Lee against you, Craig Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf sliding in. That's the correct decision against Van Berlo. That's one of the new rules brought in. Heavy contacts, and Van Berlo gets the free kick, and West Perth are away.
Should have got loose players everywhere.
Heaps of them. This is crisp. The kick was just that. He found Kerr. He'll centre the football. Good contest, but a good mark. He's slick, all right, Anthony Salikas. He would have known that contact was coming, but he was up to the challenge, and he can go back and try and kick his second.
Yeah, very strong hands.
Yep, good mark.
Been a terrific player for a long time.
Yep.
This is the view. That's what he's looking at. Salikas' kick is spot on. 2 to him. West Perth, they've got their 12th, and they've probably got one hand and maybe a bit more on this contest as we close in towards time on in the third quarter. West Perth 12-9 to 8-1 the Royals.
Yeah, they've been impressive this quarter, West Perth, without a doubt. They've just managed to free players up all over the ground. They've used the ball well, and they're now starting to put some serious scoreboard pressure on because they're converting their opportunities.
At Clement Oval, Judgy, Clement are doing to South Fremantle what West Perth are doing to the Royals here. They've kicked 5 goals to 1 in the third quarter. 12 goals, 10 to 8-7 down there at Tigerland. Still very close at East Fremantle Oval. The Sharks 8-5, Swan Districts 9-12.
And the big one?
The big one, Clint, 12 goals for the Demons, 8 goals, 10 Peel. So there's still life in that game. Plenty in this game as well. Sweet's clearing kick was blanketed. Taken though by Wolf. Gets the clearance out towards centre half forward. Off hands. Pettigrew attacks it hard. Straight at the footy and releases a hand pass to Van Berlo. Off to Bartholomew. Released it beautifully by hand. Nelson now out wider even still. Gordon's there. Got a good shepherd from Salikas. That's the way Gordon's hand pass goes in the end. Slick then to, is this Mellington? It is. He steadies with a bounce. Gets the left boot into it full forward. Kerr's there. Oh, cleverly taps the ball down in towards Johnson. Johnson off the left boot. He can do no wrong. It wasn't the recommended way of kicking a goal, Judgy, off the left boot from the left full forward pocket, but his 5th may just about be his most stellar moment in what has been a star-studded day.
Oh, he's been fantastic. He's gone for degree of difficulty here. He's not only he's running into the left forward pocket on the left foot.
He's got for maximum points.
He has. and then rolled it through. Gone for the little bouncer through here.
Yep.
Well done.
Well, he's got a great pedigree. Of course, George Michalczyk, a great player with West Perth and East Perth. Not necessarily in that order, but also a coach of West Perth, so it would obviously be doing his his heart terrifically good to see his nephew performing so well on this big stage.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's 5 goals, 2 on debut. Fantastic effort.
EPerth through Sweet, moving on to Grover. He needed to be super, it wasn't, but they'll still get at the Royals. It comes towards Wolf. He'll put it long towards goal.
That's a
reckon
goal.
it is. He was getting back to Desco, but he couldn't get a touch on it, and that ends a run of 7 unanswered goals for the Falcon.
That'll be the highlights take this week.
Moss beyond defensive 50.
It'll be on the coach's highlight list.
Yep.
Cadwallader. They'll work it out nicely. This is Morton now. Morton's kick perfect to McKenzie. He's got players running forward. Swan was ahead of him. He goes across half forward instead. Unable to take the mark. That was Grover. WestPerth with another opportunity to get rid of it. They do so. Put the hand passing across half back as they come into the middle of the ground, and that mark should have been taken by Van Berlo. Hand pass though to Brown. He waits, stops, let players run forward of him. Long inside attacking 50. Umpire spotted a free kick. It's going the Falcons' way. Holding decision. Matthew Fowler can go back and line up from about 45 metres out.
Yeah, well, look, he's looked all right, Fowler. He's looked very good, not all right. He's looked very, very good. He's a good mover and puts himself in the right positions.
Got a good physique too, Judgy.
Well, he has. But I'm just trying to wonder how tall he is. He's only 184 by the footy info we get here, so he's not really tall, but he plays as playing as a tall forward.
So for a goal after the siren, Fowler's kick. That'll bring the crowd to life up here at Joondalup. And his teammates come from everywhere to celebrate with him. WestPerth, they think they're on their way to a season-opening win. They're 14-9-93. EPerth 9-1-55 at three-quarter time.
Manning, under pressure, releases a hand pass to Crisp. Likewise to Johnson. Matthew Johnson gets plenty of distance into the kick. Diving effort by Salisic. Chance now for Mel Dennis. Oh! He'll be in the Olympics. Haven't seen that sort of a high jump for a long time. He got a bit of a helping hand there from Ray Bartholomew and cleared it easily.
Oh, the Western roll.
And the Russian judge would give full points. That's magnificent.
He had a foot and a half to spare. I think they're going to raise the fence. Lee gave it to Wolf. The kick smothered brilliantly down there by Manning. Crisp, centering kick, bounced off the shins of Fowler. Still well inside attacking 50 on. Nelson gathers it. He was tackled, but he had time to get it to his boat, floated it through. And WestPerth are surely home now.
Brownie, watch where you left.
Well, the kick in went too sweet, but under pressure he dropped it, recovered enough to get a hand pass to Rudd, and across his body. For about the 10th time this afternoon, the ball's been kicked out of bounds on the full on this side of the ground. Gordon with it. Johnson could have kicked a point from the boundary line. Kicks it to the hot spot, off hands Dobson. Clutterbuck. Seal had his hand pass knocked to the ground. Oh, through he comes. He won't be denied his 6th. Gets it onto the left boot. Oh, he has been superb. The unearthing of a real star of the future. I don't know if I've seen a debut of this ilk for quite some time, Judgy, if I can remember it.
That's looked like it came off his shin.
He's got 1 goal, 2 behinds and an out of bounds on the full today, Nelson.
Yeah, he can work on his disposal. Clutterbuck takes the kick in. Came to him from Rudd. Now he elected to kick Clutterbuck to a contest, a one-on-one. And the upshot of that is that Swan going to ground has interfered with Jordan Jones. He concedes ground, but they've got it because Tedesco's there. And, well, WestPerth really enjoying this, as I'm sure that Bill Monahan is in the coach's box. The supporters are straight through the hands there of White. Lands with Crisp. And Crisp just turned around from one step, was already balanced enough. He's kicked his 2nd, and Bill Monahan, well, you can't tell from that vision there, but inside he really would be smiling as WestPerth have now got their 17th. 17-15, 117, and EPerth 9-2-56. Runs the ball out, then delivers to Salisic. Beautiful footy by Bartholomew. Salisic over the top of Gordon. He still runs at the footy. What a great contest. Made something out of nothing for Kerr. His kick blanketed there by Wilson. His disposal blanketed. Here's Mellington. He can steady and kick a goal. Oh, great aplomb too. Josh Mellington's 3rd. He just steadied, showed that little bit of class, and a big smile on his face. A big win coming up for West Perth, 18-17. That's 35 scoring shots, Judgy. Take that in its context. East Perth, 9 goals to 11 scoring shots. It is a belting here at the arena. I'll have to give a name to this pocket as Kerr. Did he play much footy for Carlton?
No, never played a league game.
Not league game. Crisp has come into the game. Manzoni, impressive, especially in the second half. And Salisic, he was a bit slow to get into his normal stride, but West Perth players are really shearing it around now. And you'd have to say even Aaron Sweet, I'm a big fan of his, he just didn't get to that contest anywhere near in the fashion he ordinarily would have. It was all too easy for Salisic to take that mark. Should convert. Let himself down 10 minutes ago when he really just tried to kick the ball too hard. This one he executes brilliantly. So Jason Salisic joins the long list, ever-growing list of West Perth goal scorers.
Finds a player in Pettigrew, it bounces, he'll gather, gets the kick away before he's tackled, and Millington marks just inside the attacking 50. Nelson's running towards the right forward pocket. The way he's been kicking, you'd ignore that at the moment. Millington might go himself, he won't. He'll put it up towards the goal square. Black waits underneath, the siren has sounded. What a way to start 2013 for the West Perth Football Club. And serious questions will be asked already about how East Perth performed. It is a thumping win for West Perth in one of the most ferocious games played in the WAFL competition. It's a win and a big one to those